Okay, so today I'm talking about licensed marriage and family therapists in Oklahoma. So, an overview of what we'll be talking about is the different aspects of being an LMFT in Oklahoma. We'll go over the education that's needed, the state licensure, job growth expectations, potential difficulties, and ethics. So start off for education. In order to meet the qualifying degree requirements for a licensed marital and family therapist, you must be able to demonstrate that you have earned a board-approved graduate degree in marital and family therapy or in mental health, behavioral science, or counseling-related field, which is content equivalent to a graduate degree in marital and family therapy, as determined by the board. In order to be considered a qualifying degree, a graduate transcript must document the required minimum number of graduate hours and all knowledge or requirements. Academic courses must include a minimum of 45 class hours for each course. So, the expectation is that you complete a bachelor's degree and then you go on to your master's. Some people continue school outside of that, but most of the time you're going to just go get your master's, and after you get your master's, you'll decide that you need to get licensed, and so we're going to now talk about the state licensure and what you need to do after you complete your master's. So, a master's or doctoral degree in marital and family therapy or a related subject with equivalent coursework as defined by the board is required. You must pass the exam approved by the board, and you must complete 2 years of post-degree supervised work experience as an MFT. So this must include a minimum of 1,000 hours of direct client contact, and 250 hours must be direct client contact with families, couples, and groups. Direct supervision occurred no less than 6.25 hours for each 42 hours of direct client contact, and a minimum of 150 hours must be face-to-face supervision with no more than 75 hours of group supervision. So, the job growth expectations for a marriage and family therapist in Oklahoma is that it is a newer field of therapy, and so it's a growing field. There is, oh my gosh, I did not mean to do that. It is constantly growing, and there are more openings for marriage and family therapists. So, since it's a new program, that also means that there's some difficulties that come with becoming licensed for this. Because it's so new, it's also new to colleges in Oklahoma. So it may have a really high growth job rate, but it also, there isn't a whole bunch of opportunity to go through a program to get licensure. There's very few programs right now, and we'll discuss that today. So some of the potential difficulties are, one of them is it is a more rigorous course, and it takes more licensure hours to become an LMFT than just to become a regular LPC. From my own experience talking to some of the other graduate school professors, after taking the Intro to LMFT class I took last year, they talked about how it is a more vigorous program in school, and it can seem harder than an LPC program. So that is something to keep in mind, that it could be harder, and it also will probably be a little bit more competitive when applying to graduate school, as there's fewer spots offered in these programs than regular LPC programs. Another difficulty with becoming a licensed marital family therapist is finding an accredited program to become an LMFT, which I've discussed prior. So some of the accredited programs in Oklahoma include Cameron University, Oklahoma Baptist University, Oklahoma Christian University, Oklahoma State University, and Southern Nazarene University, and University of Central Oklahoma. I know for sure that Oklahoma State University is been one of the main ones that's been known for their accreditation the past years. I'm not super sure about. This is what was reported on the website, but a lot of these programs are still being built on. So I've talked to the Oklahoma Christian University because I live right next to there. I've talked to them about their program, and from what I've been told is they're still growing and they're still learning how to teach their students. So it's still a process, and they may have accreditation right now, but they're so new to the program that it may be kind of a learning process, not just for you, but also for your professors in those programs because it's such a new field. So with ethics, you're going to see a lot of the same ethical standards for other counselors of different types. The informed consent, just all the different stuff on this list, often you see with other ones, is something to be a little bit more aware of, though, is that ethics, when it comes to marriage and family therapy, you may face a lot more of trying to make sure that there's limited spread of information between clients. You will be seeing probably more than one person at a time. And so, keeping confidentiality may be a little bit harder, I'd assume. And so, there's a whole list on the AAMFT Code of Ethics for Oklahoma, and it goes in deep and explains every single one of them on this list. And this is just a little portion of what I was able to find. So, both law and ethics govern the practice of marriage and family therapy. When making decisions regarding professional behavior, marriage and family therapists must consider the AAMFT Code of Ethics and applicable laws and regulations. If the AAMFT Code of Ethics prescribes a standard higher than what's required by law, marriage and family therapists must meet the higher standard of the AAMFT Code of Ethics. Marriage and family therapists comply with the mandates of law, but make known their commitment to the AAMFT Code of Ethics, and take steps to resolve the conflict in a responsible manner. The AAMFT supports legal mandates for reporting of alleged unethical conduct. Marriage and family therapists remain accountable to AAMFT Code of Ethics or employees of organizations. If the mandates of an organization with which a marriage and family therapist is affiliated through employment, contract, or otherwise conflict with the AAMFT Code of Ethics, marriage and family therapists make known to the organization their commitment to the AAMFT Code of Ethics and take responsible steps to resolve the conflict in a way that allows the fullest adherence to the Code of Ethics. So, binding expectations. The AAMFT Code of Ethics is binding on members of AAMFT in all membership categories. All AAMFT approved supervisors and all applicants for membership or the approved supervisor designation. Members have an obligation to be familiar with the AAMFT Code of Ethics and its application to their professional services. Lack of awareness or misunderstanding of an ethical standard is not a defense to a charge of unethical conduct. Resolving complaints. The process for filing, investigating, and resolving complaints of unethical conduct is prescribed in the current AAMFT procedures for handling ethical matters. Persons accused are considered innocent by the Ethics Committee until proven guilty, except as otherwise provided, and are entitled to due process. If an AAMFT member resigns in anticipation of or during the course of an ethics investigation, the Ethics Committee will complete its investigation. Any publication of action taken by the association will include the fact that the member attempted to resign during the investigation. Seeking consultation. The absence of explicit reference to a specific behavior or situation in the code does not mean that the behavior is ethical or unethical. The standards are not exhaustive. Marriage and family therapists who are uncertain about their ethics of a particular course of action are encouraged to seek counsel from consultants, attorneys, supervisors, colleagues, and other appropriate authorities. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for listening, and that's just a little bit of information about marriage and family therapy in Oklahoma.